In a forgotten corner of Eastern Europe, where mountains cast long shadows and legends run deep, there stands a village that time seems to have abandoned. At its heart, a crumbling church reaches toward the sky with its weathered spire, the Hollow Saints Church. But what makes this church unique isn't what you hear, it's what you don't. For 317 years, its bell has remained silent, bound by holy chains and a desperate priest's final act. The locals speak of it in whispers, their eyes darting away when visitors ask why. The story they tell, when pressed, is enough to make your skin crawl. It was during the winter of 1706 when a plague threatened to devour the village. The villagers, desperate for divine protection, made a fatal mistake. As a blood moon hung heavy in the sky, they rang the church bell, believing it would ward off death itself. But what answered wasn't salvation, it was something far worse. By morning, the village had become a theater of madness. The only survivor, a priest, wrote in trembling words, "The bell calls not God, but the forgotten." He sealed the bell with blessed chains before disappearing into history, leaving only his haunting warning behind. Fast forward to present day. A team of paranormal investigators, armed with cameras and more curiosity than sense, arrived at Hollow Saints. "Just one ring," they said, "just for footage." The rusted chains fell away so easily, too easily. And then the impossible happened. The bell began to swing on its own. That night it tolled 3 times. What followed defies explanation. Villagers began seeing their dead relatives, standing motionless outside their windows, just watching. Animals fled in panic, electronics failed, and the bell's toll began to echo from impossible places. Inside homes, behind walls, under beds. But the true horror lay in an ancient scroll the investigators discovered. Those awakened cannot live unless another dies in their place. The dead weren't just returning. They were hunting, seeking warm bodies to replace their cold ones. Now, only one investigator remains, his screams echoing through the village as the bell's toll resonates from within his own chest. They say if you visit that village today, you might hear a bell. Not from the church tower, but from somewhere much closer, much more personal. Because once the forgotten have been remembered, they never want to be forgotten again. But remember, some bells were meant to stay silent, some chains were meant to remain unbroken, and some stories are warnings wrapped in history's darkest pages.